Okay, so we want to discuss the quality of your posts and give you some pointers on what a good post should look like. I've gotten permission from a couple of students to use theirs. Um, Ann Owen's posts are very good. She writes very well, and I would suggest you read it. Um, the directions say not to just agree with people or to express a quick opinion, but to show that you have some critical thinking. In this post, Anne says scientific literacy means that you understand science issues based on history, philosophy, and other concepts enough to realize where science is headed and understand crucial science points to make informed decisions. I think that's an excellent definition and a well-written sentence. And then she goes on to say, I think scientific literacy is very important. It helps people make informed decisions on things like medicine or who the best political candidate is. As a parent with a daughter who has autism, I think it's important for me to be literate in science to a point where therapists or doctors recommend a new treatment. I can basically understand it and make an informed decision about it. For those dealing with older parents or grandparents, understanding new therapies such as stem cell research is important. For me, it is also important with photography, knowing how light reflects, and basic lighting. And new science helps create better cameras. So it is important to stay up to date on that front as well. Okay, so Anne has done a good job, and she writes well, better than average. But she does make mistakes just as I do. When I write something like this and type it, I make mistakes. So what I want to do is show you a better way to do these posts by first writing them and I'm going to get rid of this and do it again. First, writing them in a Word document. And then you can correct them with your spelling and syntax. And then you can paste them into the post. Here's one. You see it's highlighted with red underline. All she missed here was a typing space. That's it. That's all there is. And then here's a typing error. She missed an apostrophe. And she did it again here. And she did it again here. Common error. This is a typing error. What is this one? Upbringing. I don't know. Oh, it's one word. I wouldn't have known that had I not gone to the Word document. So we can get it to be very good. Now, what is this one? This is a spelling error. Alzheimer's is A-L-Z-H-E-I-M-E-R, probably apostrophe S. Maybe not. Anyway, that's the proper spelling. In this case, I've already checked. The spelling function doesn't recognize this word. Basic lighting. What is wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Anyway, so now we can copy and paste it into the discussion. Oops, there's another it's. See? So you can get it as perfect as possible by using the Word document as a place to start. Also, be aware that we're concerned about your ability to professionally communicate. So we need to help you to learn to write better so that you'll have a much more probable future job experience. You'll have a better, easier time finding the better jobs. Good communicators normally do find the better jobs. So let's get rid of the Word document. Let's take a look at another student. Let's look at Mary Nouse. She does a good job also. I have an easy way to get to these things. Okay, Mary did a very good job of writing also. And by the way, when I reviewed this, I found typing errors of my own in the feedback. So don't feel that that making an error is embarrassing. It is not. So Mary says, I think scientific literacy is just basically understanding the important matters of our world today. You do not need to know a ton of fancy words to have an intelligent conversation with someone. You just simply need to know some basic facts to back up the theory you're discussing. For example, if you are discussing why we should go paperless versus using paper, you should have some sort of fact to back up what you're trying to express. Now, that's very good, but she might have gone farther and actually given an example of one of the facts that she might use in the discussion. Again, let's take a look at what Mary has done. We'll go to our Word document, stick it in there, see how many errors. Not many. Almost perfect. There is one part here where the program doesn't like this. And it gives you an option, just basically understands. Well, that's not a good option. It wouldn't even sound right. I think scientific literacy just basically understands. No, that's not right. But what we can do here is take out just basically. I think scientific literacy is understanding the important matters of our world today. You do not need to know a ton of fancy words to have an intelligent conversation, etc., etc. She writes well, she makes good points, and she's shown some depth and some critical thinking. This is what I'd like all of you to do. And again, I'll get rid of that so we can go on to the next one. Let us take a look at Sarah Leonard. And Sarah's, I don't want to look at her post as much as I want to show you the job she's done in responding to other students. I like your statement on how you can make a more educated vote when, well, that's a mistake. When it comes to being politically literate, she meant when it comes. I never really thought about that before. I do follow politics, and this is why I chose not to vote. People have yelled at me for this. To me, I do not think that it is right for me to vote, especially if I don't know what I'm actually voting for. Sure, if I did not go to school full-time and work part-time, I would be able to watch the political debates and develop an understanding. As for now, this is one area I am not at all literate in, and that is okay with me. However, I do think that being literate is very important. I may not know why or how a wireless connection works, but I know enough. In the case that if something were to go wrong, I would have enough knowledge to know where to start. So that's a pretty good, thoughtful post. And she's developed an idea, and she's responded well. And again, if there are a few little errors in here, nothing big. And but if she were to take it and write it first on the Word document, what would it show us? Oh, okay. This one only finds this one error. Know where to start. Of course, it's where to start. She doesn't follow politics. I find this one. She follows politics. And I do not think that it is right for me to vote, especially if I don't know what I'm actually voting for. Sure, if I did not go to school full-time and work full-time, I would be able to watch the political debates and develop an understanding. As for now, this is one area I am not at all literate in, and that is okay with me. However, I do think that being literate is very important. I may not know why or how a wireless connection works, but I know enough. In the case that if something were, now the program here doesn't like this. Case that if something was, cases, something were. Cases, okay, so we're looking at tense. First of all, we might say, in case something were to go wrong, syntax was to go wrong, I would have enough knowledge to know where to start. So a couple of little errors, nothing really big, but by using the Word document, we can find the problem. So, hey, this is what I'd like you to do. Try to spend a little more time on your posts and try to communicate and write professionally. Now, let's go back to the discussion section in general and look at the directions. Unit 2 discussion. Both your posts and your replies to others must show depth of thought. Do not simply answer "I agree" or "good job." Rather, show that you are critically thinking about the material and applying it to class. Okay, so in the future, for Unit 1 and Unit 2, it was important for you to learn to navigate the program, and you've done a great job. For the future, I will be grading more critically, and I will be taking points off if your spelling is bad and there are too many errors. So if there's more than one spelling error, unless there's extenuating circumstances, I will deduct points. If you have poor syntax, that is, poor grammar, I will be deducting some points. So please look at your sentences, subject, verb, predicate. Think about what you're saying and that you know what things, that you know that what you are trying to say is what you have actually written. Communicate professionally and you will do better and you will have a greater chance of getting a good job when you're done with school. Okay, thanks.